The goal of the Miele project was to design the architecture of ICT platforms able to interface existing ICT systems according to the European Directive 2010/65 used on the logistic chain for ship reporting formalities, also called business to administration, and for data sharing among operators, also called business to business. The platforms were tested through pre-deployment pilots in Italy, Cyprus, Germany, Portugal and Spain, where the local ICT systems were made interoperable by interfacing with the Miele Middleware. The project, shaped as a study taking the form of a pilot action, included the following steps: mapping the needs of relevant stakeholders, designing and developing the Miele Middleware, developing specifications for adapting, upgrading and integrating existing ICT systems, and designing the framework for the exploitation of the Miele Middleware and the full deployment of its services after the completion of the pilot action. The free trade of goods and the increasing number of passengers moving among different states calls for the exchange of huge quantities of documents, declarations and information, often used by the various actors either in printed format or in electronic format. By the 1st of June 2015, according to the European Directive 65, all ship formalities for ships arriving in or departing from ports of the Member States shall be exchanged in electronic format.
The Miele project was promoted and coordinated by the Directorate General for Maritime and Inland Waterways Transport of the Italian Ministry of Infrastructure and Transport.
Within Miele, and following the policy for government dematerialization and simplification, the Directorate General has been carrying out pilot applications of ICT systems, allowing at project level the application of Directive 65. In this framework, the directive is an extraordinary opportunity to simplify processes of the logistic chain and make efficient all controls that goods and/or passengers are subjected to by relevant authorities, such as customs, Coast Guard, maritime health, border control, and so on. Within the Miele project, in line with the European strategy, Italy in particular has developed ICT technologies suitable for the different possible scenarios that facilitate integrated existing electronic systems. These technologies have been successfully tested through pilot applications involving existing ICT systems at different levels. For example, systems of German and Spanish ports, of Dutch customs, etc. Thanks to the experience of the Miele project, the Directorate General has gained its participation in the ANA project, counting 14 member states, aimed at sharing and possibly adopting the same detailed criteria in developing the national maritime single window, trying to reach standardized information and modes of submission. In this perspective, Miele paves the way for major future developments that IMO is already defining, in compliance with standards outlined not only by IMO, but also by WCO, WTO, United Nations and European Commission, such as electronic certificates, electronic logbooks, and several other possibilities offered by technology and data sharing to improve performance and reduce costs. A cruise ship has to send tens of thousands of data. For example, think about passport control, customs formalities, and information on goods destination. Most of them have to be sent to all the ports, countries, and different actors of the logistic chain. Thanks to the document's dematerialization, the availability of this type of information in electronic format within a single system for each country will allow to send data only to one recipient. Saving time and resources, reducing mistakes, and, above all, providing timely useful information will be possible. Miele has been conceived to integrate and to facilitate the work of ICT systems, both in B2A and B2B applications. Grimaldi Group started its operating in the late 40s and has been active over the years in different fields: passenger, bulk carriers, general cargo, tankers, containers, cars carriers, and ro-ro ships. The group is today specialized in the roll-on, roll-off sector and currently owns one of the largest fleets of multi-purpose car carriers and ro-ro vessels in the world. As a result, today Grimaldi Group is covering the entire logistics chain, providing solutions and services in more than 50 countries. Grimaldi joined with great interest the Miele Project according to its vision of development and investment, especially in new technologies, but above all to be ready to respond in the best way to European Directive 65. For these reasons, Grimaldi has made available its extensive experience and its worldwide network that sees itself involved every day in 120 ports and counts 120 ships, 16 container terminals, 1 property port, and 4 land transport companies. The shipowner contribution to the project was to promote the use of electronic data as a tool to streamline processes, both in B2A and in B2B, up to the consumer. Thanks to the Miele and the intermodal vision that Grimaldi has developed over the years, the company is able to assess realistic short, medium and long-term scenarios and accordingly to plan its investments in technology, innovation and training.
What has been the aim, the goal of the Miele Project? Actually, it's very simple. In the future, according to the directive, information will be electronic and will be into a single language. So it's exactly as if there is only one language to speak in all over the world. However, today, the information are used already by operators, by ports, by ship owners in their own systems with their own language. So in other words, every one of us is speaking its own language and we don't understand each other. Miele has found a solution, such a solution which allows to translate each language into the language of the one who is listening. So I can speak now into Italian, and the one who are listening me in Portugal will understand me in Portuguese. This is the idea, this is what we have done. For what? For all the data which are required for reporting purposes, so required by law, when the ship arrives into the port, and for data which are useful to the trade organization to make business. Most of the data are the same, and however, the use of languages is exactly the same. And this is how we have approached this problem. We have done in this way. We have tried to think as if we are the ship owner, and as if we are the trader, and as if we are the terminal. So we have tried to put ourselves in the mind of all the stakeholders. And at the end, we have achieved the solution which more or less allows to optimize the requirements of everybody. The key word of Miele is interoperability.
During the project activities, it became clear that implementing Directive 65 meant developing the national maritime single window, helping ship owners and agents using any single window, allowing data sharing among countries and facilitating the use of electronic format information. Miele integrated approach has conceived technological building blocks to be used altogether or partially, according to the various elements of the logistic chain and along the different phases of the information sharing process. For example, the data converter, also called translator, is used in pilot applications where pieces of information about a ship are transferred from a maritime system to a river system, or information going from a ship to a country and later to the next destination port. Thanks to the reorganization of the information flow, data will be available and accessible to all stakeholders along the European logistic corridors.